I want to know something else, something more important. What's it like being dead?
Just like
Hey guys, it's Viz. I'm here. So it's October, as you guys know. I'm doing creepy videos. Last video was not creepy, but back to the creepy videos. I have red hair now. Fun. I just dyed it, so that's cool, and I'm actually in love with it. Okay. Anyways, today I thought it was a good idea to read creepy subreddit stories. Now keep in mind, these are fictional as far as I know. I was told that the subreddit has just fictional stories that everybody made up. I don't think they're real, and if they are real, that's gonna be very horrifying, and I probably won't sleep at night if I find out these are actually real. But as far as I know, they're not real. I'm just gonna get right into it. I hope you guys like this. Yeah, I forgot what it's called, but the subreddit that I'm reading this off of is called No Sleep, which I was told is fictional, so yeah. Have you ever seen a dead person in your dreams? Maybe it's someone you loved deeply in your life, or someone you hated. Maybe it's just random celebrity even. But when you see them in your dream, they're alive, and you get to talk to them, do random dream stuff together or something. You don't even remember that they're actually dead until you wake up. My grandmother once told me that if I ever have a dream like that, and I happen to remember during the dream itself that the person I'm talking to is already dead, then I should ask them a question. Ask them a question if you want. I remember her saying, with a twinkle in her eye, because the dead cannot lie in your dreams, so they will tell you anything you want to know, maybe even tell you where their buried treasure is. I guess I'm obsessing about all this now because my grandmother passed away just a few weeks ago, and I'm still in shock. Yes, she was old, very old, but she never seemed like it to me. She was always so vibrantly alive that just the thought of never seeing her again, never being in the warm presence she emanated ever again, it feels wrong. Like the world is colder and grayer somehow. I was so wrapped up in my grief that when I dreamed of her the other night, I felt genuinely happy. I was a kid again in the dream, and she was telling me a bedtime story. It was such a vivid dream that I could smell her favorite lavender perfume and feel the cool exhales of her breath on top of my head as I snuggled against her side. For those precious few minutes, I had her back again, and everything was all right. Then I woke up, and I realized she was dead, and I just broke down and sobbed like it was the first time I had heard she was gone. The next time I dreamed of her, we were in the kitchen. She was baking cookies and she wouldn't let me help her. I wasn't a younger version of me anymore, but she still treated me like a child anyway, scolding me when I dropped a mug and making me wash my hands before eating any of the cookies. I remember thinking that there was something off about the whole scene, and it wasn't until I woke up that the old memory of her telling me about asking dead people questions when you see them in the dreams came back to me. So when I saw her in my sleep again last night, I was ready. This time, we were on the porch of her house. It was a warm summer night, and she was in her rocking chair while I was leaning back against the porch railing. "Grandma," I said, feeling kind of foolish about what I intended to do, "I know you're dead." The creaking of the chair stopped. There was a hush as if the whole world suddenly held its breath. Then, my grandmother spoke. "Please," her voice sounded terrified, "don't ask." I was confused. What did she mean? What was really happening here? Was there actually some kind of truth to what she told me? Maybe it was all just my subconscious trying to process my grief. I pressed on. "You said dead people can't lie in dreams. So, just tell me one thing." "No!" She bolted from the chair and scurried into the darkest corner of her porch, scurried like an animal. I was so startled, I gasped out loud. In the gloom, I could make out the faint color of her dress and the gray of her hair. "Grandma," I approached her warily. This dream was taking a very strange turn. "I just need you to answer one question for me." She was making strangled, keening sounds by now. I realized that she was saying, "Don't ask, don't ask, don't ask," over and over again. "Just one question, Grandma," he insisted. I didn't know why I was doing this anymore, but some kind of compulsion had a hold on me, and I wasn't letting go. I didn't care if I was hurting my grandmother, but I had to ask her one question, and it wasn't about silly stuff like buried treasure. I wanted to know something else, something more important. "What's it like being dead?" As soon as those words left my mouth, I heard a monstrous howl, and something smashed against my chest. I fell to the floor, feeling the cold, rough hands pressing against my face, a film of darkness that came over my eyes, and I couldn't see anything, but I could feel it on top of me, and it smelled like rotting meat. "You want to know what it's like to be dead?" It hissed against my left ear. "I'll tell you." And it did. Now I know. I should have never asked. That was so creepy. Actually, I might just use that as like a story to tell at like camping, I guess, because that sounds cool. I want to creep someone out with that. Other one, I don't have the time. Okay, and it's another one about sleep, and it's like talking about what it's really like what you really see before you go to sleep or whatever when you're falling asleep. Okay, we never remember the exact moment we fall asleep. Sure, we remember the minutes leading up to that moment. Reciting our grocery list, listening to our spouse snore. We're playing an embarrassing moment that happened 10 years ago. But can you recall the exact moment you fell asleep last night, or how it happened? I always found this odd. We remember when we wake up, and sometimes even we know the reason. A bad dream, a car honking outside. But how do we fall asleep? What happens in that magical moment that pushes us into a dreamland? Nobody knows. It's a mystery. Like a little black hole in our memory. That's why I decided to conduct a study. My husband thought I was weird. "So you're setting alarms off on your phone to go off every 5 minutes as you fall asleep?" "Why?" "Because it'll wake me up when I'm falling asleep." I don't get it. I want to know exactly when I fall asleep each night and how. I still don't get it. I didn't expect you to. Eric raised an eyebrow at me. Is that supposed to be some sort of insult? Maybe. He laughed. "Okay, you do your thing, but can you do it in the guest room? I don't want to wake up every 5 minutes." Of course. That night at midnight, I lay in the twin bed in the guest room. My alarms were set. I was ready. Bring! The first alarm went off at 12:05. I was still pretty awake. The image that lingered in my mind was of our backyard, and what it would look like after the patio work was done. I rolled over and closed my eyes. Bring! 12:10. Sleepier this time. I had remembered to buy peas. I could go to the store tomorrow before meeting. Bring! Barely awake. Peas and patio tiles melted into each other. I wondered, if I planted some peas in the morning, would they be ready by dinner time? Bring! Bingo. Before I opened my eyes, I knew this was it. My thoughts were nonsense. A heavy fatigue immobilized my body. I was just barely asleep. But it felt wrong. It was more than just fatigue keeping my body still. I felt pressure on my chest, as if a dresser was being pulled on top of it, and my forehead stung, as if someone was pinching it. My eyes flew open. A black shadow sat on my chest. Green eyes smoldered in darkness. Its mouth, if you could call it that, was long and tubular. It connected to my forehead, making a wet, sucking noise. Get off! Get off! I thrashed against the creature. The weight on my chest lifted. Plop! The mouth. Plop! The mouth popped off my forehead. At the same instant, the fog of the sleep lifted. My thoughts were clear. My movement was nimble and quick, and the creature was gone. I ran down the hallway, my feet pounding against the carpet. "Eric!" I screamed, throwing his door open. He slept peacefully, completely unaware of the invisible creature that sat on his chest, feeding on his energy, his thoughts. I grabbed his shoulders and shook him awake. "Eric!" I screamed. "Wake up!" His eyes fluttered open. "What's wrong?" he slurred, pulling himself up. I imagined the creature on top of him disengaging, causing him to wake up. Even though I couldn't see it, I knew it was there. I knew. I saw it. The creature. It sits on our chest and it sucks our thoughts, our energy, like some sort of parasite. What are you talking about? It causes sleep. As soon as it stopped, I woke up. It causes sleep. It's black and shadowy and This sounds like sleep paralysis. He wrapped his arms around me and pulled me into a tight hug. I'm so sorry. I know it can be terrifying, but it isn't real. It wasn't sleep paralysis, Eric. It's a nightmare then. But don't worry. You're safe with me. He pulled me tighter, rocking me gently as if I were a child. Tears streamed down my face as the pieces fit together in my mind. Sleep isn't some restorative function encoded in our DNA. This creature, this thing, causes it. So it can feed on our thoughts, our energy, like some sort of parasite. A parasite that has existed since the beginning of time, living with us, evolving with us, present in every country, every home, every bedroom. We never see it because no one remembers how they fall asleep. Okay, that one was really creepy too. So I just read like 2 because I felt like that was enough. I hope you guys liked it. Something creepy. I actually, like, this draws my attention, and I like reading things and, like, I don't know, readings. I'm a nerd, so I love reading, and especially creepy stories and stuff like that. It just like draws my attention. And my brother's being really loud.
Yes, I have Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty.
Did he just say Hello Kitty? I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, leave a like, and if you like my content, subscribe, and if you are subscribed, click that notification bell so you know every time I post. All my social media links are down below. I plan on doing, maybe I should do another part to the series, make it a series, I don't know. I actually really like this, and I want to do a part 2 of reading creepy texts with my brother. So I want to do it with my brother, son, not my sister. He might actually have more excitement in what he's reading, so that'll be fun. That's all I have to say. Sincerely, Moose. What was I gonna say?